All right, we're going to get started, everyone. This is Thomas Logan from Equal Entry, and I'm the host of Accessibility Virtual Reality. Very happy to have you all here today on the 10th anniversary of Global Accessibility Awareness Day. We're really excited for today's presentation. It definitely feels like a milestone for our event here in virtual reality. You know, we've been using Mozilla Hubs as the place to have these events for over a year now. So we're really excited today to have Dan Fernie-Harper from Mozilla, who's a design content creator on the Hubs design and people experiences team, to talk to us about what Hubs has been doing, you know, past, present, and future on making uh, this platform more accessible. As always, we put this into every event that we're hosting here. We are very open to your feedback. We want to make sure that this event is as accessible as possible. And part of the information and feedback that you've shared with us throughout the lifetime of this event over more than a year, we've been sharing with the team. So if there's anything today, um, and we'll be learning about lots of new things today as well. I've really appreciated how open to feedback the Mozilla team is. And I want to acknowledge and thank Jolie McPhee from the Internet Society of New York, who is providing the YouTube stream for our event. If for any reason you're not able to get into the Hubs room, we do always put our events on YouTube, and we live stream and we monitor the live stream for questions, and we'll ask those to the presenter. And then I also want to say thank you to Stanley Sakai, who is providing the captions for today's event. So the captions that you see displaying beneath the slide are being produced by Stanley here in the room today. And with that, Dan, I'm going to hand it over to you now, and I'm going to go on mute. So thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to learn from you.
Thanks so much for the warm welcome, Thomas. Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Fernie-Harper. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm extremely grateful to the A11yVR team for inviting me along today. I live in Auckland, New Zealand, where I live with my wife, son, and dog, and have worked for Mozilla on the Hubs design team as a user experience design content creator for about a year and a half. I came to the organization with a background in traditional and digital illustration, along with some years of audio, video, and virtual reality production experience. But I was relatively in the dark about accessible design. I'm still a novice and learning along the way, but I feel very passionately about how we can make Hubs accessible to everyone that wants to use it. I consider myself very lucky to work with the amazing individuals that helped create, tirelessly maintain, and continue to evolve this really terrific and versatile platform. So I'm here today to talk about our design process, past, present, and future of accessibility in Hubs, and ways Mozilla and its community can make Hubs a more user-friendly product for all. So I'd like to start off by giving a quick introduction to Hubs, our philosophy and commitments, and how they tie into Mozilla's vision and its mission. What is Hubs? Hubs is a product and platform from Mozilla that allows people to connect online in virtual spaces safely and on any device. For those watching the stream or recording, this virtual meetup is taking place in Hubs. The environment we're in was built by the A11yVR team in Spoke, Hub's online scene editing application. Everyone that is in this meeting has chosen an avatar to represent themselves in this shared space. And here we can bring in and share videos, images, and files, and create and interact with 3D models. But these features just scratch the surface of Hub's potential. It's a communication tool, but further than that, it is a social experience engine, versatile enough to allow the people using it the power to tailor their virtual space to their needs. What drives Hubs? I believe Hubs to be a powerful platform for collaboration just on its own merits, but there's a value-driven force behind it. that allows for Hubs to be a safer, more trustworthy and inclusive tool, and that force is Mozilla. The Hub's philosophy is firmly rooted within core Mozilla values, and we strive to bring its mission into all that we do. We also draw heavily on the 10 principles of the organization to guide our efforts. I won't run through all of these now, but the Mozilla Manifesto can be found online, and I'll drop a link into the Hubs and Meetup chat for people to have a look. These principles are the heart and soul of our organization, and Hubs is just another way that Mozilla is showing how its ideas and innovations contribute to make the internet a better place for all. The Hubs design team. So as the Hubs design team, we are constantly evaluating the functionality, usability, and experience of Hubs. Functionality is a technical issue and refers solely to the product. What does the product do? The usefulness of product features, maintainability, and reliability, for example. Usability is a characteristic of the interaction between the user and the product. Can I make the product do what I want it to do? And user experience. So user experience considers the wider relationship between the product and the user in order to investigate the individual's personal experience of using it, how the person felt about the experience, what it meant to them, whether it was important to them, and whether it sat comfortably with their other values and goals. Our design process is informed by user experience. That is to say, we put people as the driving force behind our decision-making. Working with a shared vision, we empower the core product team with data-driven, inclusive recommendations and designs that put users at the forefront of product development. We have a brilliant and hardworking UX research team that assists us in promoting the voice of Hubs users by identifying gaps and opportunities in the product, allowing us to bring our audience's wants and needs into the design. So thank you for listening to my brief introduction about Hubs, our philosophy, and a description of our process. Providing an equitable and accessible experience for anyone wanting to use Hubs sits high on the list of what the Hubs team hope to achieve with this product. But it's still a work in progress and fairly new product and platform. But we feel we have a roadmap that we believe in and look forward to continuing to develop Hubs into a product that is setting a standard in accessible design. I'd like to speak now to the ways Hubs and Mozilla have incorporated accessible design into the product historically, in the present, and what we hope to achieve in the future. So in a way, accessibility has been baked into Hubs from the very beginning. Hubs is open source and invites contributors to help improve the product. This means there is more opportunity for accessible design and feature implementation, and ultimately builds a more inclusive product. If people find a bug, something that is not accessible, or a feature request, we invite them to view existing tickets to see if it's already in the pipeline, or create an issue on our GitHub repo, and the product team will address and prioritize it. We also have a discussion board in place on GitHub to facilitate feedback and conversation within the community. Being powered by the web, can be accessed from a browser on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, you can create or join a room in only a few clicks. At the default level, it is completely free, and there is no need to create an account. Many of this would seem like an easy enough task. However, the steps to go through this process can act as a barrier for some people with disabilities. And Hubs also leverages existing browser accessibility functionality, permitting compatible screen reading devices and operation from only the keyboard when used on a desktop or laptop. This also means the user interface is able to be scaled up with zoom controls, making it easier to read. This year in January, we implemented a new user interface design scheme. This redesign includes a highly requested feature of a persistent chat sidebar, along with a more streamlined interface for mobile and desktop to align with industry standards. The work in improving this experience is still ongoing, and that brings me to the present. We feel we have a good grounding for making Hubs the best it can be. The engineering, product, design, and research teams are united and working closely with its community to bring more accessible design into not just Hubs, but also Spoke and their landing pages and documentation. The team truly loves to see people adopting this tool and finding new ways to make it work for them. There's a real feeling of excitement about the work we're doing and the path ahead, but we realize we can't do it alone. Yeah, so I was just saying that there's a real feeling of excitement about the work we're doing and the path ahead, and that we realize that we can't do it alone. I spoke about how we have a GitHub for conversation and requests on accessibility related issues, but we would like this dialogue to be even more accessible and free-flowing. This week, we've added an accessibility channel on the Hub's Discord server. Here, we're inviting the community to give us their thoughts and feedback into improving accessibility in Hubs. In our design channel on Discord, we post community feedback forms with feature concepts and designs so the community can help us deliver a product that people want. And our plan is to do the same thing here. We'd like Hubs users to know we truly value their input and welcome the feedback and discussion. The cool looking sci-fi avatar I'm using was recently created by Hub's community member Imaginer, exploring ways to visually show others when an avatar is speaking. It has a black outline that reacts to the audio source and expands, indicating the source of the sound. This is a great example of how being open source and driven by user experience is helping to make Hubs more accessible. Future Hubs. So I can't say exactly what features, changes, and additions we'll be implementing, but I know we have loads of suggestions surfaced from internal work and our community, and that extensive exploration is being done into ways to improve the experience for all. Some work being explored that I can speak about, such things as a color palette that is more accessible, more options in color themes for the user interface, including an alternate dark mode, high contrast mode, and a simplified light mode, alongside a great deal of progress being put into improving user experience and accessibility for audio and video. And this slide here shows an example of a concept for a dark mode user interface. Accessibility when using Hubs in a VR headset is an important area of exploration for us moving forward. Cyber sickness excludes a great deal of people wanting to use 3D platforms such as Hubs, and the design team are exploring ways to implement features that mitigate the effects. Hand tracking is another interesting avenue to go down. We believe this could not only improve more human expression and interaction, but possibly help make sign language in virtual spaces available. There is a prototype available for WebXR, the WebXR emulator. It includes hand input support for hand tracking and leverages Google AI's media pipe. I'm sure it won't be long until features like this make their way into Hubs. I hope one day soon we can integrate such tools as text-to-speech captioning in Hubs. This is an often requested feature, and myself and many other users would love not to have to rely on workarounds or third parties to achieve this. Having this tool would be a huge bonus for inclusivity and accessibility. Mozilla's commitment to democratizing speech technology is strong, as shown with the Common Voice and Deep Speech projects. And this year, there are plans to publish a toolkit to help people, researchers, and organizations use deep speech to build their own voice-based solutions. The codebase is there and open source, So I believe it's only a matter of time until Hubs and its contributors find a way to incorporate it. As I come to the end of this presentation, I'd like to acknowledge that there are a range of different accessibility needs and requests I haven't touched on today, and that we are working hard to solve for them. Controls and navigation improvements, focus layers between 2D and 3D, and visual cues for audio zones, etc. The list goes on. I would also like to reiterate that Mozilla has a long history of valuing its communities, and we wholeheartedly believe that their input creates a better, more inclusive product. So please reach out to us in the accessibility channel on our Discord server and through our GitHub page for discussions and feature requests. Thank you to everyone that has joined in the conversation along the way so far. A huge thank you to Thomas Logan and the A11yVR team for continuing to hold events such as this. And many thanks to everyone that came along today. The future is accessible. Happy Global Accessibility Awareness Day.
Thank you so much, Dan, and that's an excellent presentation. So now we'll be taking questions either from you all on the YouTube stream or here in the space. For those of you in the space, it's fine to chat your question or come off of mute and ask the question. I'll just get started, Dan, with a question for the sign language sample that you were talking about, and you mentioned the emulator extension. Do you have a link for where that is, or how we can try that out if we're interested?
I don't have a link on hand. I'm going to have to post one up in the chat. Let me just have a quick look for it.
Sure, and we can post that into the notes of the meeting afterwards too as well, but definitely interested to try that out.
For sure. Thanks, Thomas.
Do we have any questions here from those of you all in the audience? And Stacy, are there any on YouTube? Oh, thank you for the link.
Hey Thomas, it's Stacy. We had some questions on YouTube. One from Deb. On average, how long does it take Hub to integrate accessibility feature? For example, for research, design, development, testing, and user testing.
Let's see. I had trouble hearing that.
Yeah, the audio was breaking up for me. Sorry, Stacy.
Stacy, could you?
No worries.
I will
paste it into the chat.
Okay. Of course, your audio sounds much better as soon as you come back. So all right, we'll get that question in there. And hi, Ina.
Okay, just putting it in the chat now.
On average, how long does it take Hubs to integrate an accessibility feature, i.e. for research, design, development, testing, and user testing?
Oh, that's a great question. It really depends on the lift that the engineering, well, all of the teams, the design, engineering, and research teams have to take. So like simple sort of stuff like UI stuff is a lot quicker to implement, but say something like captioning is a huge engineering lift. So we're always looking for ways to to partner with our community and bring contributors on board to help speed up that process. I really couldn't give you an average sort of feature request implementation timeline.
Yeah, I think that is a difficult one. I know that in our work or the events that we've held here, we remember the when you all added the support to have the keyboard support for the reactions. That was something really great for us in the event. So the fact that you can press like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 to do the reactions, and I'm sure that was something that would take longer than changing, say, the color support in the UI. But oh, we have another question here, Dan. Is there a VPAT, voluntary product accessibility template, available for Hubs?
There isn't. I saw this question and I quickly Googled it because I had no idea what it was. And this just highlights how connecting with our community can help implement new standards that will improve accessibility. So I'm going to bring this to the team and see what something like this could look like for Hubs. So thank you for the question on that.
I had another question too for your avatar that you mentioned, being able to have that kind of contrast for the audio display so that it's really clear that your avatar is speaking. Is that a link too that can be shared of where to trap that avatar, and did the person that built it explain how they built that? Because it's very interesting.
Yeah, so I reached out to this Hubs user and asked if I could use the avatar for this presentation today. On our Discord channel, I think it was in the design channel, we posted it up just in the last couple of weeks. It is publicly available. You can actually go and click on the link there and it will update your avatar. And from there, there's workarounds to be able to save it and to be able to actually get that model into Blender and sort of reverse engineer it, so to speak. But the design team is also looking into ways we can show off when someone's speaking. So yeah, really grateful. Someone from the community is already thinking about it and putting it into motion.
Excellent. I know that Matt here, I'm not sure if he's here, but I know Matt's been working on some like interactive functionality in like WebXR and in Hubs, like some quiz functionality and items like that. Are those things like for sort of interactive features inside of Mozilla Hubs, things that you all are looking at for accessibility as well?
There is exploration into that. I can't speak too much as to what that looks like, but definitely there is progress being made on that front.
Great, thanks. All right, do we have any more questions or comments from those of you all here today? Oh, great. Okay, so we have one more here. If you could wave a magic wand, what would be your top 3 additions to Hubs be, and what is stopping the implementation currently?
First off, I would say captioning. to be able to have speech-to-text captions, either 3D or 2D or a combination of both. That would be my my number one choice. And what is stopping the implementation currently? We need to do more research. It's a pretty big engineering lift as well. It's really time is our biggest barrier on that one at the moment. What else? What other additions? I like the idea of having objects in hubs have interaction sort of qualities able to be sort of coded into them, to be able to have a door that is closed and to be able to interact with the actual door handle and open the door, that sort of thing. What would my third one be? This is a great question. I would love to see the capacity, like room capacity, increased, and for there to be huge events with like 1,000 people, in the room, in the space, all interacting. What is stopping implementation? It's quite a heavy load for the servers. So I think time as we develop techniques for like how far away you need to be from someone before you start being able to start hearing them and interacting with them. Things like that could drop the load, the server load. I have lists. They would be my three top choices at the moment. Thank you for the great question.
Those are great responses. We definitely have had that experience, here in the event with the room capacity before. So that definitely does sound like a good thing, but understandable that it's a challenging item to solve with, every new person and avatar increases the load potentially. We have another question here from Eric Baum. What's the best way to get involved with hubs and provide feedback?
So that would be our GitHub repo and discussion board on there, or our Discord server. We have a range of channels covering many different sort of areas. I would say get in there and communicate with the people using it, and look out for our feedback forms on the accessibility and design channels there. We also have a community meetup every Friday and Saturday where I am in New Zealand. So you can find that on our Discord channel as well. And thanks for posting those up, Thomas.
Absolutely. And I can definitely echo that. If you're interested to get involved, I mean, that's been a huge reason for us doing accessibility virtual reality, that we have loved hosting our events in Mozilla Hubs. I mean, the team is really responsive and does, live the principle of being open and communicating with the community. So we've used those channels and had great success being able to communicate with the people building and creating this software. And so I think, if you use those, you'll have a great experience. And, we're definitely excited to keep seeing what changes with Mozilla Hubs in the future. And I'll just wrap up our event today with saying, that we do believe all of these virtual reality experiences, they need to be accessible, and there's lots of research, lots of opportunities to improve. And we're very happy, right, with what Mozilla Hubs team is doing. And as I said at the start of the meetup, your input and feedback coming to our events every month, that's also something that we plan to continue sharing with the Hubs team. So if you don't join the Discord or GitHub, we'll be doing that, and we'll also help take your thoughts and feedback to the team. But want to wish everyone a happy Global Accessibility Awareness Day, and say thank you so much to Dan Fernie-Harper from Mozilla for presenting today about everything that is happening with accessibility at Mozilla Hubs. Everyone is welcome to stay in the room and have conversation. We keep the room open after our events, but we will be stopping the live stream now, and we look forward to having you at a future accessibility virtual reality event. Please stay tuned to our meetup page or our monthly newsletter to find out our next event. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan.